Welcome to 21st Century Skills, Building Blocks for Employment. Just some facts here. Twitter is 8 years old this year. The iPad is 4 years old this year. It takes at least 5 years to become a teacher. It takes 2 years for a topic to become embedded in a college curriculum. And the time taken for each radical new technology to be widely adopted halves. So basically, for teachers who've just qualified, they won't know about iPads and how to integrate iPads in their curriculum. We need to be able to validate experience. Many people can do tasks that are important to today's employers. Things like social marketing, working with Facebook, doing a bit of web design, posting on a blog, that type of thing. However, many of these skills have no formalized qualifications. A qualification from as little as 5 years ago can be redundant because things change so quickly. Employers do, however, need some means of being able to validate experience. How to look at open badges as a solution. Open badges are digital certifications that are owned by the learner. These badges can follow you around wherever you go. You can post them on your blog, you can have them with your CV, you can put them on LinkedIn, you can do all sorts of stuff with them. And they're capable of proving as much or as little as required. Because of this, they can offer finite skills validation. The things that you do to get an open badge certification tend to be shorter than conventional learning. But equally important, this finite validation means that they can be more agile and can easily be adapted to new trends. So as something new comes out, we can modify what we're teaching very quickly for that particular part of the learning curriculum. So our solution would be to use open badges to provide a 3D mesh of validations. Now by that what we mean would be to allow a learner to build a 21st century skill set that has breadth and depth. It covers a wide number of subjects and can go from just knowing about it and being able to simply use it to knowing about it in depth and being able to fully configure, fully work with a particular piece of technology or a particular skill. We would look to provide training to enable people to learn these skills. We want to provide assessments that would allow us to validate those skills, and then we want to provide an open badge certification mechanism to allow people to prove those skills to employers. So our first steps would be establishing a training centre, creating some coursework, carrying out training, doing assessments, and doing validations of those assessments. Our second steps would be to expand our courseware offerings, to provide our open badge validation mechanisms to third-party organisations both in this country and abroad, to maintain our own in-house skill set so that we can keep up to date with what we're trying to teach other people, and to encourage mainstream education to catch up, because we believe what we're doing is the way of the future for vocational education. Why we're seeking funding? Well, it's quite a simple one, this really. We have the building, we have the broadband access, we have plenty of in-depth subject knowledge. We just need the equipment to actually make it all happen. So what do we want to cover with these courses? Well, we'd like to include web work, including blogging and web design. We'd like to include use of online software, Office 365, Google Docs, that type of thing. We want to include digital imaging, so digital photography, digital editing, perhaps a little bit of digital video, that type of work. We want to include social media, social marketing, social publicity, skills based around creating a social media presence. We want to cover the Internet of Things, robotics, home automation, office automation, the intelligent room, all that area. And we also want to include 3D technologies, including printing, scanning, and later this year, obviously, holography. So what do we need to achieve this? Well, we need a selection of workstations, both desktop and mobile. We need a server that would host our open badge validations. We need assorted robotic components and interfaces. And we need a 3D scanner and printer. And hopefully later in the year, Microsoft will let us have access to a HoloLens device to be able to work with holography as well. How soon could we be up and running? Well, the first set of courseware for web and blogging is already available. This already exists, and we're teaching this in our out of school to some of the students. The training centre can be running within 30 days of equipment arriving. Because it's modular, because it's small pieces, we can actually be up and running literally within a month. Realistically, the first set of learners can be awarded open badges within 6 weeks of the equipment arriving. So basically 2 weeks after we're all set up and ready to go, the first learners will have their certifications. So how does this allow us to make a difference? Well, firstly, we will train people with skills that they can use now and tomorrow in the workforce. We will validate those skills so that employers have a proof of competence, so they're not just buying into somebody saying, well, I know how to do that, that's brilliant. We'll fill the gap, basically, between education and employment. Very importantly, we'll also be agile enough to be able to create new validations to reflect market trends. So if a new platform appears, or a new way of marketing, or holography even, our validations will keep up to pace with that and be able to reflect current market trends.